Hello and good morning friends, welcome to the CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, with our ongoing series on human resource management, we have conducted 8 lectures under the series. This is the 9th lecture in the series, and we would like to tell you all that today we would be discussing on career development. And for this very discussion, we have once again with us in our studios Dr. Namita Rajput. Dr. Namita Rajput is an energetic and dynamic professor who is currently teaching in Department of Commerce, Sri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. Dear friends, we would like to tell you all that she has authored a book on human resource management by International Book House. So we believe that she is the most appropriate person to give us detailed information on the entire series, that is human resource management. And as per today's topic suggests, that is career development, we believe that this session is going to be very productive for you, and we would be conducting 2 sessions for career development today, and we believe that you would be giving your feedbacks for this lecture afterwards. So I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Namita Rajput. Hello ma'am.
Thank you. So good morning viewers. Today's topic would be the career development. This topic is the buzz of today, and everyone is striving for the best careers in the global world of today. So what these youngsters do, they do the career planning. Right from joining the organization, right from joining the academy, right from joining the institute, they start thinking and building their dreams that we would be having the best career, and eventually they would want to earn the best pay packages. So this is eventually everyone is striving for. So I conducted a workshop on the generational diversity, in which I asked many of the young students that what are your career development plans. So everyone says, and everyone said in the few workshops which I took, the all center was around the money. So eventually everyone wants such a career which can fetch them the good bread and butter and the fat salary checks. So keeping into consideration these kind of views of the younger generation, let us have an insight and the concept of what career planning means. So let us have a look on this. Every employee has an aspiration to grow at the new heights in their workplace. If there are plenty of opportunities in the organization, then he can easily hunt his career goals and can fully exploit his potential. He is highly motivated when the organization shows him a clear path and help him in meeting the personal ambitions while trying to achieving the organizational goals. The absence of a career plan adversely affect both the employees and the organization, and due to the absence of the career plan, the employees live in frustration, and the organization too suffers critically, and when the turnover figures increases. So this is perhaps in this backdrop I would start my presentation on the career planning. Now, when any of the individual joins an organization, they have certain apprehensions in mind, they have certain views in mind, they have certain pre-notions in their mind that if we join this organization, what is going to be their future? So they have this kind of a mindset, and everyone joins an organization because of the tag names, because of the images of particular companies. Like if a person is working with the Tata company, so they have a big name, and the people who are working with Reliance, they also have a very good impact, and they have this kind of an aspiration that we are working with the big companies. So the future would be better, and of course the salary packages would also be high. So if the organizations take this kind of an aspirations in a very positive mindset, it is definitely will be good for the organization also and for the individual also. So when an individual joins the organization because of the certain apprehensions in mind, so it is the company or the organization people who should help them in setting their career goals. Because the younger people, they are sometimes not even clear after even attaining an age of 25 that what is going to be the best career for them. They are just doing because their friends are doing. They are just acquiring the qualification and the degrees because of the demonstration effect, which is highest in India. So the organization people must help them in setting their aspirations, in setting up their goals, and in giving them the clear-cut goal and the path. If you join this organization, this is going to be your future. So if the clear-cut picture is shown right in the beginning, then of course it is very good for the people that they understand that this organization is my cup of tea, and this organization is the best organization in which we should join. So keeping this forward, so any recruitment effort made in the panic and the hurry to fill the vacant positions is ineffective and it further adds to the training cost. Consequently, the organizations should try to put their career plans in place and inform the employees about the opportunities that exist in the organization for brilliant people. The organization cannot flourish without such a progressive outlook. Now, I would like to highlight here that when an individual joins an organization, there must be a orientation session and the induction program which clearly state and which should clearly state that this is going to be the career path for the future and for the future endeavors for the company, and this is how you're going to rise in the organization. So this is what the organizations have to be very crystal clear about, that they should always have a progressive outlook in mind, because this is the only way you can tap the young talent and you can retain the young talent. And without young talent and dynamic people who are a part of the workforce, you cannot compete in this competitive world. So right from the beginning, the clear-cut career path should be given, that yes, of course, if I am an employee of an organization and I know that this is what the career paths are and this is what the hurdles I have to cross, these are the particular tests which I have to clear. Like in the banking industry also, they have certain internal exams, external exams. After qualifying those, they are promoted. So this kind of a progressive promotion strategies must be very clearly stated right from the beginning, in which the organizational people join the organization. Now, let us have a look on what is a career planning. So, before starting with this, you must know your majors, because this is a biggest problem of the people of today, that they don't know what their expertise is and they don't know what they can be best into. So first, you have to understand yourself, and only then you can pursue your career plans. So let us have a look on this. Link your major and your career. Then know your values, learn about yourself, that is, you have to give some extra time to understand yourself. Then you have to identify your particular skills which are only with you and they only belong to you. Then you have to research about the career options, that is, with the given mindset skills, that these are the career options which is available for us, because we are having this particular kind of the skill sets with us. And of course, then you can link up your majors and then you can start your career planning. So these are the very prime steps which you must understand. So the career depends upon many parameters, like your vision about the future. Some people are not at all ambitious. Some people are very, they are just very casual in their life. So they take the life as it comes. So you must have a vision and the objective in your mind first. The people who are not ambitious, then of course they cannot even climb the ladder. So first of all, you must have the objective which you must attain. Then you must have certain skill sets, like if I always wanted to be a professor right from my childhood, because I saw my mother being a teacher. So I set up my career goals right from my class 9th, that because I was very clear about what I have to do. So what I did is that whatever career plans I used to have in mind, I followed that particular qualification. I attained that qualification. I qualified all the particular tests which were required to become a professor, and then of course I'm in front of you. So similarly, whatever are your career goals, you have to start and where you have to be very crystal clear in your mind that what you have to do and what you have to attain in your future and what is going to be the best career for you. So accordingly, you have to have a vision, you have to have an objective in mind, and of course carrying it forward, you can attain certain skills and you have to develop certain interests and the values and the goals, and finally you will have the red and bright career in front of you. So let us now start with the concept of a career planning. Career planning encompasses the matching of an individual's career ambitions with the opportunities offered in an organization. It comprises ascertaining the means of achieving the desired results. The career plans, the career paths are the means of attaining the ambitions. So we can have a look on this, that when you start with your career planning, so after having the basic qualification, you enter in an organization, and right from the entry of the organization, you're very much clear about the company strategies, that how you can attain a higher level in the hierarchy. And of course, this is a first step in the career planning. So career planning is a process in which one chooses a career objective and the path to the objectives. So first thing which you have to do is you have to choose what you want to become. You have to be very crystal clear about the objectives, career objectives in your mind, and eventually you have to set up that this is what I have to do and this is the path of where we can achieve the objectives. So the main focus here is to assist the employees in achieving a healthier match between the individual goals and the opportunities that are available in the organization. Now suppose an individual is good in one particular skill, but that particular skill is not a part and parcel of the organizational operations and manufacturing activities. So of course he doesn't have any future in that. So he must leave that organization and try to join that organization in which his skills is properly matched. So this is what the individual choice is, that he has to understand the pros and cons of each organization. He has to understand the career opportunity and the career strategies of each organization before he even joins the organization, because nowadays the vital information is available in the public domain and you are wise enough to take the decisions. So after you understand that this is the career planning and these are the career strategies of a X company in which you want to join or you are striving to join, because this has to be decided well in advance, since this is how you have to grow in your life. You cannot have a stagnation in your career. The career planning has to be done very diligently, very cautiously, and all the basic parameters, and the most important parameter is that you have to understand yourself, you have to understand your skills, your objectives, and then eventually you have to join such organization which is matching with your particular skills and your interest. Only then can your future be bright. Now taking it forward, there should not be a plenty high level positions to make the upgrade movement a dream to a large number of employees. Now this is one thing which you must understand, that if the targets are easy, every Tom, Dick and Harry would come and join the organization and would always step up the ladder very easily. Stepping up the ladder has to be very difficult. It should be difficult, because otherwise the people will not show their potential and they will not put in their heart and soul when they are working. So if you want to join an organization with such good hierarchy and with the best positions in the organization must keep this in mind, that these number of positions should be minimum, because if these positions are maximum, then there will not be any kind of an importance for the career planning and the career development. The career development opportunities should only be given to those who are actually putting the hard work and who are actually striving on the path of the career planning which they have already set in their mind. So number of such positions should be very less. Then of course the career planning should pinpoint and highlight those areas and levels that offers the psychological success to the employees rather than the vertical growth. Now this point has already been discussed in the previous point, that there should not be large number of such positions in which it is very easy to attain that position. Such number of positions should be less, and the vertical growth and the horizontal growth should be kept at a very low level, because once you are actually talking about the horizontal growth, we are not talking about the career development. Career development is always moving up in the ladder in the hierarchy. So that is the vertical growth. So there are certain aspects and the parameters which even the company or the corporate people have to understand, that number of such positions should be less, number one. Number two, the positions to attain that particular higher level should be made a very tough concept in the mind of the employees. And of course the psychological success should be given the nucleus and the main importance rather than the vertical growth, because I told you the vertical growth, it has if that is a very easy target, then everyone would target that only. So that target should be less. In fact, the successful people should always keep in mind about the successful psychological success rather than the vertical success in the mind. Then the last is the career planning is not an event but a continuous process of developing the personnel for attaining the optimal results. It must be noted that the individual and the organizational goals are not distinct and separate. Now, of course, you have to understand that we are living in a dynamic world, and every now and then on a blink of the eye, the technology is changing. There is a social change, there is a psychological change, there is a change in the the legal methods, the global economy, because we are living in an integrated world of today where there are no geographical boundaries. So under this kind of a backdrop and scenario, it becomes even more important to update all kind of information which is available and all kind of career opportunities which are available to the corporate, and there must be proper sessions in which this kind of an endorsement must be given to the employees. Why? Because if they are not well versed with the opportunities which are available, they will not be able to striving for it and they will not be able to work towards it. Now, for example, the environment is changing and everyone is doing the sustainable practices. The corporates are revisiting their strategies. They are trying to rebuild their objectives because we have to decarbonize the economy. So under this backdrop, all kind of information must be given in the information sessions and in the endorsement sessions about the corporate and the latest career opportunities which are available for the employees. Now, an individual who is unable to transform his career plans into action in the organization may perhaps leave the job. Consequently, the organization should support employees in career planning so that both can fulfill each other's needs and achieve their goals. Now, of course, having a thought in mind and converting that into action is the most important thing. There are so many thoughts which come in our mind, but the thoughts are like bubbles. They are bursted every now and then. We are the human brains, so we are having an immense power of thinking, immense power of thoughts which are coming into our mind. So it's not that every thought is converted into action. Only the viable and the practical aspects we take care, because we have the human intelligence and the brain, which is the best gift of the God, which distinguishes us from the animals. So every individual knows what is best for them. So an individual who is able to transform its thoughts into action, they would be staying in that organization, and the people who are unable to transform and transmute their concept or the thoughts into the action, that is basically joining those particular career opportunities, will obviously stay in that organization. And of course, the organizations of today, they must help the people, they must help the employees in achieving that career planning process, because if the corporates they withdraw their support, then of course the people will not be and never be happy there, and they would be leaving that organization, leaving the turnover ratio to be high, which is again a big cost for the organization. Now, before we move on, let me tell you there are certain types of the career test. As I told in the beginning of my presentation, that the people are very unaware about their own self. I mean, this is the saddest state of affair, that even the people who have attained the adulthood, they even not very clear about what their potentials are and which career can suit them the best. Is it the business or the employment or the self-employment, or doing any kind of an economic activity which can fetch them money. So this is the saddest state of affair. In that case, the solutions are given by the psychologist, and definitely you have to undergo certain types of test, and there should not be any kind of apprehensions in mind to going to a psychologist and trying to find out that which career is best for them. So there are numerous career planners which are available, and they offer their services. Some even give them free of cost, but yes, there are professional people who help the people in setting up their goals, in setting up their career planning, in knowing about the particular interests. So they do undergo these kind of tests. The first is the career interest test, the second is personality test, and the third is the skill test. Now, the first, when we talk about the career interest test, there is a questionnaire you have to fulfill, there is a one-to-one interaction with the counselor, and of course there has to be numerous concepts and the thoughts which are thrown in the interactive sessions which is taken by the counselor, the career counselor, and by the end of a particular session they would give us a report that yes, for you the medical career is good, or an engineering is good, or being a professor is good, etc. Then of course you will go in for a personality test which would fetch you like are you a patient man, etc., and about the insights of your own behavior and personality, which is again very important to embed into your career planning, and because it's a vital impact and the personality aspect of the career planning. Then of course you have to undergo a skill test, and which is primarily the main test of the career planning, because unless and until you have those particular skills with you, to join a particular career would be a waste for you. So after going these kind of tests, let us now understand what is the importance of a career planning. The first is involvement of employer and employee. Now, and the second is the employees needs to be aware of the organizational opportunities. Now, the career planning is most vital and important aspect of an individual as well as for the corporate, because once you join an organization, you should have an induction and an interactive session with the corporate people that this is what the career goals are and this is what your career opportunities would be. So there is a close connection here between the employer and the employee, which is again our main thing, because the employee knows that you have to work along with the employer and along with the whole team if you want to strive on the top level of the hierarchy in terms of the career prospects and growth and development. And of course, the employees needs to understand before he pursue this, he needs to understand that these are the possible opportunities which are available for me, and of course, you are wise enough and rational enough to take that particular decision. So let me give a very important case study of Colgate and Palmolive. So let us have a look on this. In this, when you're going for a career planning, the employees have to fill the IDP, that is individual development form. The form is to be sent to the managers. The employees and the managers, they have a close discussion on that this is the interest of the employees. These are the particular strengths, these are the particular trainings, and HR would arrange for that particular training. So you understand these are the very basic and the simple steps, and perhaps many of the organizations, they follow these kind of steps, and this is for the sake of an example and a very famous company which I have given in front of you, that in case of a Colgate Palmolive, the career planning, the first thing which you have to understand is that you have to fill your interest and your profile into a IDP form, that is the individual development form, which is followed by the interest and the likes and the dislikes about you, because everything centers around you, because career is very personalized in nature, it is very customized in nature. Nobody else is going to take your position, so you have to be very clear in your mind that this is what my career would be and these are my interests. And you know, some people from the beginning, they give us such example that I cannot be a doctor because this is not my cup of tea. I cannot put in these number of hours for the academics and these number of hours for the studies. So it is very clear in their mind that they want to be a lawyer or they want to be a engineer, but they say no to doctor. So it is again a very individual aspect and the perspective, and we must welcome the opinion of each individual. So this is how they analyze after filling that particular form, and then the HR department would arrange for a particular training after finding out the gaps between what skills are there and what skills are again to be present in an employee to follow those particular tasks. Now another example by the Cadbury. So in terms of the career planning, this is what the plans of the Cadbury is. They give the earlier career, they give the mid career, and they give the senior career. So let us see one by one. So what does the Cadbury say about the early career? The first 5 years of employment, they call it as the early career. In this, the management skills training is imparted to their employees, followed by the short-term placements, the workshops, and the mentoring. So these are the particular steps which the Cadbury follows in terms of the career planning and the growth prospects of an individual, and they respect the employees, and that is why they undergo these kind of career development strategies in a very systematic manner. So that is why I have divided into three parts, the early, the middle, and the long path. So the aim here, when you talk about the early career, the aim is to understand the business structure. So you can see here that the Cadbury people would understand that basically 5 years is the example which they have taken, that 5 years is needed to understand the basic concept and the structure of the business. Then coming on to the mid-career, which is again a very vital impact by the Cadbury. So let us have a look on this. The team management trainings, the strategic leadership trainings, the international opportunities, and the ongoing career dialogues. Here the aim is to equip with the capability to lead the teams and develop and deliver the business strategies. So here the main center is to give on the main focus on the strategies development, because the strategies are most important, and they have a feel that after 5 years, after understanding the basic structure of the business, they would be very easily able to understand the business strategies. Now coming on to the senior level. The highest level, approximately 150 members, are globally, and the global leadership conferences and executive development programs. External expert coaching. So here the aim is to support the personal leadership styles to set the business strategies. So here the international flavors are added because now they have understood the basic structures, they have understood the strategies of the business, and now it is the time to integrate your company into a international aspect. So putting the international flavors and giving all kind of international practices will be a part in terms of the senior level. So what are the steps, now coming on to the steps in terms of the career planning from the employee's perspective, because employee is the most important aspect of the career planning because the career belongs to him, not to someone else. So let us have a look on this. You have to make the career planning an annual event. You have to map your path since last career planning. You have to reflect your own likes and dislikes, needs and wants. You have to examine your pastime and the hobbies, and look before your current job for the transferable skills, review the career and the job trends, set the career and the job goals, explore new education opportunities, and the research for the career job advancement opportunities. So here these are the same points which we have already been discussed, but they are now very systematically given, that you have to come on to yourself that what was the last year and how did you perform, what were your likes and dislikes, and you have to examine your pastimes and the hobbies, that how did you spend your ideal time, and you have to review your career career objects and the job trends, because we are living in a dynamic world. The jobs which you started with can be redundant because of the environmental changes which are taking place, specifically and mainly talking about the sustainability and the environmental issues, because anything which is related to the environment, which is polluting the environment, will no more be allowed to operate. So maybe you have to change your business aspect, you have to change your career planning accordingly. So you have, the review is most important aspect of the career planning. Then you have to explore your education and the training opportunities again. So now coming on to the nature of the career planning. So career planning is not an event, it is in fact a continuous process which would help an employee to attain a higher level in the hierarchy. It comprises of the upward movement in the organizational hierarchy, which necessitates the abilities to deal with the problems. And the career planning serves the individual interest as his aspirations are met to a great extent, and the organizational interest too is served as a human resource is provided with ample opportunities to contribute to the organizational goals and objectives. So it's a dynamic process due to the changing and the uncertain environment. So you must understand that the career planning is not static, it is a dynamic and a continuous activity. Keeping into consideration the major changes which are taking place, you have to keep reviewing your career prospects and embed that kind of an information which is available across the globe, across the environment and outside the organization into your career planning, because that is going to be more realistic in nature. I hope this session was, the takeaways are good for you. So thank you so much. Hello viewers, so we are now coming on to the objectives of the career planning. So in the first part of my lecture, I told you about what career planning is and what are the basic insights of the career planning. So taking my lecture forward, so this particular part of my session would be on the objectives of the career planning. To attain and retain the talented personnel by offering the careers, not the jobs, efficient use of the human resources to achieve the greater productivity, to reduce the employee turnover by providing them plenty of opportunities, and to increase the employee morale and motivation. So we have seen here that we do the career planning because we want to retain the talented personnel, because we are not offering them the job, we are offering them the careers. So this is the most important thing which the individuals must understand, that the corporates of today, they are smart enough to give you the careers, not the jobs, because the jobs can be offered by anyone, but career growths and opportunities are offered by few. So you have to understand this slight line of difference between the jobs and the careers. Secondly, of course, for the greater productivity, these kind of sessions must be given to you, that this is the growth aspects and this is how you can achieve the success in this particular organization. If you stay for 5 years, if you stay for 6 years, this is going to be a scenario, and this is going to be your job profile additions, and this is how you're going to earn in terms of the salary and the packages also. And eventually the people will be motivated and they will not be ready to leave that organization, and it also helps us in reducing the labor turnover. Now, to timely meet the instant and the future needs of the organization, this kind of a human resource, this is the need of the human resource, that you have to give them the career opportunities, so that you are having a plenty of such people at your backup, because the organizations of today, they are very complex and dynamic. You would be actually needing the talented workforce. So if you offer them the good opportunities, they would be trained enough for the future, and of course the organizations of today, they are always wanting a pool of such people in front of you. So next is to provide the healthy environment for the effectiveness and the growth of the employees, to map out and categorize the careers of the employees according to their ability and capability, and to have a stable personnel by reducing the absenteeism and the turnover rate. Now, of course, anyone who offers you a good career, anyone who offers you a good salary, and of course the best career opportunities, you would like to stay there. So the turnover is definitely going to reduce, the absenteeism is going to be the less, which is the need of today, and the productivity and the motivation levels would be on a higher scale. And let us now discuss the process, the career planning process, which involves the following steps. So let us have a look on this. Identifying the individual needs and aspirations, analyzing the career opportunities, aligning the needs and the opportunities, and the action plans, and a periodic review. So let us have a discussion of each point one by one. The first was identifying the individual needs and the aspirations. Now, as I told you in the beginning of my presentation, that you have to understand yourself, you have to understand your needs, your aspirations, that what you are going to be in the future, what you want to attain in the future, because if there is no clarity in the first step, the subsequent steps would be a waste. So you have to put in the best efforts, and you have to add substance to your needs. You have to be very clear, crystal clear about your thoughts, that this is what your career would be. So unless and until this point is clear, then everything which is subsequent will not be a fruitful activity. So let us have a look on this. Identifying the individual needs and aspirations. Most individuals are not clear about their career aspirations and goals. So therefore, the human beings and the professionals must help the employees by guiding them what kind of work suits them according to their skill, experience, and aptitude. Such assistance can be extended through the workshop seminars, which helps an employees to know what he can build his career and the organization. It also helps the employees to the career goals, recognize the career paths, and discovers the career development activities. So here the main focus is that if the individuals are clear about their career goals, then of course this is the best thing. But yes, taking on the flip side of it, if you are not very clear about your goals, then it is the job and the main duty of the organizational people, specifically the human resource department, to make them understand that this is your present skill, these are your abilities so according to you, these kind of backdrop, for you this kind of a career would be the best. So they must act as a guiding agent which can help them in achieving their organizational goals and achieving their organizational growth and development. So we can see, when you talk about the individual, you have to see your education level, you have to see what your goals which you have to achieve, you have to see the vision, you have to see the values, you have to see the skills and your particular interest. So it is a conglomeration of all these factors together that you will be able to understand that this is the best career for me. Now coming on to the second point in the process of the career planning is analyzing the career opportunities. Now, for example, I have joined an organization and I have a particular skills with me and I have a particular ability and potentialities in me. So after this, I would like to match that, considering my skill set and considering my interest in likes and dislikes, and this is what the capabilities are present in me. Is there any career opportunity which is available for me in this organization or not? Is the main and the prime question, and the answers has to be given by the corporate people, because you are coming with a very clear mindset, with a clear skill set, and you are having interaction with the human resource department people, that this is my skill set are. So they have to give us the career opportunities for you, and if there is a matching of your interest, your capabilities, your skill sets with the opportunities which are available in the organization, then it's a win-win situation for both. So next you have to align the needs and the opportunities together. So after identifying the needs of the employees and realizing the career opportunities, the next step is to align the both. This alignment process entails the two steps. To identify the potential of the employees and then assure the career development program in order to align the employee needs and the organizational opportunities. And the potential of employees can be measured through performance appraisal, which would disclose the employees who require further training and employees who can take the higher responsibilities, etc. Certain development techniques like special assignment, planned position, rotation, coaching, job enrichment, underlying program can be commenced to update the knowledge and the skills of the employees. So you have to align your needs and the opportunities, which is very important, and otherwise nothing can be progressive in nature, nothing can be done for, within that organization. So you have to do the needful so that the needs and the opportunities are aligned in the way they should be. The last is your action plans and the periodic review. The alignment process helps to uncover the gaps through the individual career development efforts and the organizational supported efforts. After implementing the action plan, it is essential to review the whole process, and this will guide the employee in which the direction he is moving, what changes are expected to take place, what kind of skills are desired to face the new organizational challenge, and it is also necessary to find out how employees are performing, what are their aspirations, whether the career paths align with the individual needs and serve the overall organizational objectives. So this action plans and the periodic review is important, because only then you will be able to understand whether the organizational goals would be achieved or not. So what are the basic advantages of the career planning? I would be segregating as per the individual and as for the organization both, because career planning again is very individualistic in nature, but again there is a strong spillover of the career planning of an individual onto the performance and the achievement of the objectives onto the corporate. So let us first have a look what are the basic advantages of the career planning for the individuals. So let us have a look on this. The first is the career planning helps the individual to take up the knowledge of the numerous career opportunities available in the organization, number one. Number two, it helps the employees to select the suitable career according to his preferences, family environment, etc. Then of course it also helps the organization in finding out the internal employees who can also be promoted, because once you are doing a career planning, you need to have a specific skill sets, the qualification, the capabilities and the potentialities. So after that particular mapping is done, then the organizational people would understand that these are the capable and the good people who can be further promoted. So that is why this career planning is good for the individuals as well as for the company itself. Then of course the internal promotions, interventions, employees, they boost the morale of the people also, that yes, if we strive hard or if we achieve and if we are the achievers in the organization, this is going to be the scenario for us, and they feel motivated, and of course the motivated workforce, they help in increasing the productivity also. Then increased job satisfaction is there. It creates a sense of belongingness and loyalty to the organization, thereby lowering the employee turnover, and of course it also improves the employee performance by tapping their potentialities and also satisfies the employee esteem needs. So overall we can see there are so many benefits. Number one, you are able to achieve your needs, you are able to achieve your career growth. It is good for the organization because it helps in finding out the best talent which can be promoted. Then of course you will be able to give a motivated workforce, because the promotion schemes are in front of them and everybody would strive hard to achieve them. It creates a sense of loyalty and belongingness, and they feel satisfied that if we always be a part of this organization, we would be attaining the heights very shortly. So there are the advantages which are not only available to the people, to the individuals, but definitely these kind of career planning activities, they have the best advantage for the organizations also. Like the career planning, it confirms the availability of the skilled and the capable human resources, number one. Number two, the well organized policies, they improve the organizational ability to attract and retain the skilled and the talented employees. And the career planning tries to satisfy the employee expectations, thereby minimizing the employee frustration. It also helps in attracting and retaining the people from different cultures and the backgrounds, thereby enhancing the cultural diversity. And the career planning protects the employee interest, which ultimately promotes the organizational goodwill. So overall, there are the best options available for the organization also. Number one, you'll be able to achieve the organizational goals. You'll be having a skilled man force in front of you, which is of course the deficiency of it will be very disastrous for the organization. It decreases the employee frustration, it decreases the labor turnover. So you will be able to optimize the cost and increase the performance level of the organization. So what are the prerequisites for the success of a career planning? So this is the most vital aspect of this lecture today. So following are the prerequisites of the career planning. Number one, the strong commitment of the top level in the career planning and development is very essential, because everything emanates from the top. Number two, organization should develop, enlarge and diversify its action at a phased manner. Number three, organization should frame and state its goals very clearly. Self-motivated, dedicated and hard-working employees in the organization is must for the successful career planning. Organizations should take appropriate steps to reduce the career stress and frustration. The organization should have the impartial promotion policy, and they should widely publicize its career planning and the development programs. So overall, we can see that if these points are kept in mind and baked in the culture of the organizational activities and the strategies, then of course it is very a win-win situation for the organization. Because if you advertise your career prospects and the policy level in terms of the employees' growth and the development, many young talent would be attracted to join your organization, which is again a very important thing for the organization. So because the skilled workforce and the capable workforce is the need of today, because we cannot do without them. They are imperative and they are very vital for the success of the organization. Now coming on to the limitations of the career planning. Number one, although the career planning helps in organization in plentiful ways, still it has few limitations that weakens the importance and the significance of the career planning. Some of the limitations are as follows. Career planning is a long-term and a very time-consuming process. Sometimes the organizations may not be ready to invest a lot of time and the cost on the process that would be beneficial only in the long run. Now, certain people who are into the strategy making of the organization, they have a very narrow vision in mind that yes, if they spend a lot of money on the career prospects, etc., it is going to be a very costly affair for the organization. But they have to broaden their outlook, they have to increase their comprehension levels that yes, investment of the money in the career planning strategies today will be a money tomorrow, because it is going to fetch you the best money. Then of course, sometimes it is impossible for the organizations with a large workforce to develop the individual career plans for every employee of the organization, as the career plan process needs in-depth analysis of each employee's strengths and weakness. So I would like to explain here that the organizations of today, they cannot give any kind of fruits to an individual directly. The organizations of today, they are working at a bigger pace, at a larger scale, with the X number of employees, with the large number of people who are a part of the workforce. So developing an individual development plan for each individual becomes a very, very difficult task. Yes, of course, you can have a handful of people picked from each department whom you think, after talking to and interacting with the bosses of that particular department, that who are the best people. But here, the whims and the fancies play a very important role. So maybe you are not able to tap a right challenge. So these are the proper limitations. I mean, not tapping the good people because of the whims and the fancies, because of the narrow outlook of certain bosses against certain people, because you are very well versed that people are good and sharp, but you don't want them to be promoted because of your personal reasons. You are settling your personal scores. So you're not inviting them for the promotion and the other policies which can help in their career planning and the growth. So this is really a bad and a sad state of affairs. Then favoritism and nepotism definitely is a part of the Indian economy and will always be a part of the Indian economy, because the system here is not very clear. It is biased, it is cooked. It is, you always see certain things with the colored glasses. So you have to be very particular about that. Those people should always be promoted who have that particular skills and the potentials. Otherwise, it is a bad thing for a nation, for the organization, and overall for the society as a whole and for the world as a whole. So nepotism and a kind of a favoritism should not be a part of the organizational policies. Then the career planning is also affected by certain rules and the regulations, which is of course can be a kind of a bottleneck in terms of the career planning. And the career planning is fundamentally a self-management process which requires the awareness of the basic career planning and the management activities, but lowering on with the levels of the hierarchy may not aware with the career planning process. Certain people are not even aware after even conducting their program. So time and again the review of this career planning and prospects should also be a part of the organizational activities, because we are living in a dynamic world. So the prospects changes, the career opportunities changes. So maybe after a month or so, maybe after a couple of months, so these kind of sessions can be arranged maybe of 15 to 20 minutes or a short sessions, or the things can be even uploaded to the websites where everyone is asked to download, and everyone can have a complete vision about the organizational changing paradigm in terms of the career planning and growth for the employees. Now, many organizations treat the career planning as a formalized and inflexible exercise. This should not be there. The career planning should be very flexible, because you are not, the God, and you are not knowing the uncertainties which can happen any time. And of course, the career success is an abstract concept, hence it is inferred differently by the different people. And the last is a career planning may not suitably for the small organizations, because it is definitely a big cost for them. So it may be only suitable for large organizations. Even large organizations, they find it difficult to frame the individual development plans. So again, it has to be your own choice, your individual effort, and what people you can promote, how many people you want to promote in terms of the career planning. The career plannings for a long period may not be effective for the developing country like India due to the changes in the environmental factors like the government policy, public sector development, and the growth of the backward areas. Some careers do not have the scope for much development. In such a situation, the employees cannot get the promotion regardless of their career plans and development, and the interface of the career issues with the personal issues of the employees may sometimes make the career planning ineffective. Now here we talked about the uncertainties, which is specifically for the developing country like India, that we are living in a very uncertain world. Every now and then there is impact of the political parties, there is a changing social agenda. So every new aspect is coming up, every new things are coming up. So in such a changing paradigm, how can you have a static career plans and growth and opportunities? And certain careers in which we do not have those prospects also, then what to do? So they have to change their aspirations, the employees, and maybe they have to have an add-on qualifications, because with the present particular skills which they had, the opportunities were very limited and were very narrow. So if you want to add on to your career opportunities and the growth and development, you have to add to their qualifications, etc. So these are the particular limitations of the career planning. So let me now come on to a concept of the career development. Career development is the procedure by which the employees progress through a sequence of stages, each described by a different set of development tasks and activities. So the career development is basically a process. You can see there is a sequence of the steps that you have to identify yourself, you have to identify your aspirations, you have to find out what particular skills are there, maybe you have to undergo certain kind of test, and after the analysis of what your capabilities, potentialities are with the present mindset and qualifications, you move on with the opportunities which are available in the organization organization. If your needs are matching with the opportunities, then of course you can frame your future in this particular organization, or maybe eventually you have to leave that organization if the matching is not done. So career development is an unending process. It's a very formal process in which the organizational people, you have to emphasize on the changing paradigm needs of the organizational environment. You have to embed those particular changes into your career plans and development. Only then the success can be on your way. And it's a very formal approach by the organization to confirm the employees have a preferred qualifications and the skills when necessary. So career development is of course a very important activity. So let me now come on to the objectives of the career development. To meet the present and the future workforce of the organizational needs on a very timely basis is one. To inform the organization and individuals about prospective career path within the organization, number two. To efficiently use the existing human resource program by incorporating the activities that select, allot, develop and manage the individual careers with the organizational goals. So we can see a very important diagram here on this particular slide, that you have to have a very complete awareness about the career. You have to explore your career opportunities. You have to prepare yourself for the career. Then you have to go in for your placements. Then of course you have to maintain after adding on to the add-on qualifications, and then you can become a career mentoring. So this is how the changing phases and the paradigms are there in terms of the career development. So again, the career awareness is very important, because human resource experiences, this is the awareness stage where we learn about themselves, about their interest, about their values and beliefs, etc. And it is during the career awareness stage that the employee also learns about the different jobs which are available in the organization and what tasks are integral to these different types of the jobs. The second is your career exploration. The next stage is career exploration, where the employees actually begins to explore the career that are interest to them. They also learn the skills that are vital and how to develop that knowledge, skills and capabilities to enter the career that appeal to them. And then it is the time when the employees explore their talent and determine how the others are using their skills and abilities in the careers. So next is your career preparation, that you, after understanding the awareness of the careers and after having that particular knowledge about the career, so now is the time to prepare yourself for the career. So preparing yourself is like you have to add on with the particular qualification, with the particular skill sets which are prerequisite for that particular career. Then is your career placement. Career placement is a stage that is most often experienced through the placement into jobs that employees learn what employees expect to and how to be very responsible for that particular job. So they are also known with the particular opportunities which are available. They have to secure the references which would help them in securing and taking that particular job. And this access to the prospective references is a very critical factor in the career development. Then is your career maintenance. Career maintenance stage follows the effective landing of the job, and during this job the employee settles into a pattern, becomes contented with the job duties and colleagues, and find a balance between the work and performance. So the social skills is very critical for the individual because of their colleagues and the customers like them. It will help them in making their job, otherwise in maintaining a job will be a challenge for them. So after understanding all these processes, we can say these are the basic objectives of the career development. The last is your career mentoring. So when the employees are near to their end of their working life, so they have immense experience about how did they attain a particular career, the thins and the thicks of attaining that particular job, the qualification, disqualifications, the career plans, etc. So they are well versed with all the complete insights of the career opportunities, growth and the development. So now they can act as a mentor for the young aspirants and the job seekers, which is definitely a very important and a good activity for the organizations, because what their experience can give them, nobody else can give them. So this is a very, specifically for the mature employees who have a complete knowledge. This is not for the young employees. This is for them, of course, because the mature employees would endorse all kind of vital information, which is very important for them to take up that career opportunity. So the next is your succession planning. Succession planning is a process of confirming that the capable persons are available to assume a key managerial position every time the positions fall vacant due to sudden death and resignation. So it targets the smooth functioning and operational efficiency. Hence, the succession planning can be defined as an identification and development of the potential successors for key positions in an organization through an organizational evaluation process and training. And it is a predictive in judging an individual for a position he might never have been in. Now see, when you talk about the succession planning, you never know about the activities of the organization, who is going to die, who is going to retire, who is going to leave the job. So you must have a succession planning, that who is going to take up if one person leaves the organization, who is next in the line. So this is a very, every organization, considering the uncertainties, they must do the succession planning for the very smooth functioning of the organizations. Thank you so much.
With this note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for this vivacious sessions once again. And dear friends, as we always say, that your feedback is very, very important for us. So please give your feedback for this particular lecture. And if you have any kind of queries, then you can definitely mail us at info.cc@nic.in. We would love to solve your queries the next time when Dr. Namita Rajput visits our studio. So as we also give you information that all the lectures are uploaded for you on YouTube pertaining this very series, and this lecture also would be going to upload for you on YouTube very soon. So keep watching these lectures and keep giving your feedback. We would be meeting again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much.